Bicentennial of Lafayette's farewell tour is happening on the 22nd of this month in Gallipolis.
And you can meet someone who will be portraying General Lafayette while you're there, Michael Halbert. Michael, thanks for being with us this morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Nice to be here.
We're so excited about this event. So, Michael, start by giving us a little insight on the importance of Lafayette in American history.
Well, Lafayette is a very singular figure in terms of the foreign officers who came to assist America in the bid for independence. Unlike many of the others, Lafayette was able to serve, wanted to serve voluntarily, and even though he had not had any real combat experience at the time when he came, he was only 19 years old, he proved himself on the battlefield fairly quickly at Brandywine and in other locations. And of course, his relationship with George Washington was one that really pretty much cemented him to the American cause from the very, very beginning. It's important to realize that Lafayette is not France, however, and I think that actually is to his credit. It shows that he's the one who, on his own, with his own money, his own efforts, and his own bravery, actually committed himself to the American cause very, very early on. And his coming back almost 50 years later, I think, bears further testament to his dedication to the pursuit of liberty, freedom, and democracy, not just in this country, but also in his native France.
So as part of the national recreation of the farewell tour, you have actually portrayed Lafayette in a number of cities. We were just seeing some of that video. Tell us about the national tour and why this event coming up in Gallipolis is just such an important, special part of it.
Well, so the bicentennial observances center around the cities and towns where Lafayette actually visited in 1824 and 1825. He arrives on the 15th of August of 1824. He'll turn 67 years old the next month on the 6th of September, and he will continue on visiting all 24 states of the Union up until about the 8th or 9th of September 1825, when he finally pushes off back to France from near the D.C. area, sailing down the Potomac and on out. It's important for people to understand that Lafayette came at the invitation of James Monroe. He did not just come on his own. And in fact, he was somewhat self-conscious about accepting an invitation for which he wasn't sure he would be able to reciprocate fully. What he expected to be would be a fairly warm welcome, but he had no idea even as to how great it was going to be. And one of the things that you find looking at his remarks as he travels through the country is his astonishment and his gratitude, and what he often calls emotional gratification at the fact that he still lives in the hearts of Americans today, that is in 1825. And you have to remember that in 1824, 1825, anyone under the age of 55 years did not know anything other than the United States. They'd never experienced the Revolutionary War. They'd never lived as a British subject in a colonial position. And Lafayette was asked to come back to try and remind people of why the revolution was fought. What did the concepts, the American concepts of freedom, democracy, and liberty actually mean? And the 1824 presidential election had been very, very contentious. The country was very divided politically. In fact, it was even speculated that the country could have split into 3 different countries at that time. So high were the emotions in that election. James Monroe was outgoing. He could not run again. And by this time, though, in 1825, when Lafayette goes to Gallipolis, he has been, his new president is going to be John Quincy Adams coming in. And things did calm down. Lafayette's presence apparently did help with calming emotions, getting people to look back, to remember the revolution, remember the American concept of freedom and democracy, and that unity was much better than disunity. And for that reason, even at that time, Lafayette stands out as a very important figure in American history because of what he did to contribute to that restoration of national unity.
Michael, are you willing to give us just a little sample of your portrayal of Lafayette?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so General, what are you most excited for in regard to the Gallipolis Lafayette celebration in our area on the 22nd?
Well, I knew of the departure of many of my countrymen to Gallipolis in the late 18th century. And I was very interested to see how they fared in this new country, because of course at the time I had not seen Ohio. Gallipolis did not exist, and this was known as the Ohio Territory, and Americans did not live there very much. And of course, I never thought I should visit this part of the country, let alone see it as an independent state. And so what I'm looking very forward to in Gallipolis is to see how my countrymen have fared in the Ohio country, what they have built in terms of the city. And I understand I actually will have the occasion to visit with some old friends, like Monsieur Nicolas Thévenin, whom I knew in France. And then also there are many veterans of the Revolutionary War living there, such as Robert Hereford, with whom I fought at Yorktown. And so I look very forward to these reunions, as I've had in other parts of the country. But in Gallipolis, it will be especially pleasing to see how these people coming from France have melded into American society and what their contributions shall be.
Oh, that was great. And we're looking forward to meeting you as well as Lafayette. Michael, we can't wait to see you in Gallipolis. Thanks so much for taking time to talk with us today on Studio 3.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yeah.